in just under 2 minutes, and they have now reached move 40, which means that they will be getting that 1 second increment. Knight to c3.
It's probably checkmate somehow.
Hi guys, how we doing? Welcome to a very new game that we're going to analyze. This game was played in Norway chess between the one and only Vishy Anand, 5 times world champion, and a famous grandmaster from China. It's Wang who came back after retirement. This is his first tournament in 2 years. Vishy Anand is playing with white and Hao playing with black. Vishy opens the game with e4. How goes for the sharpest line, the sharpest reply, the Sicilian defense, c5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5, Nejmuddin of Rosalimo attack, g6, How wants to fianchetto his dark square bishop, by Anand, bishop g7, c3, Anand wants to strike in the center with d4, e5 by How, d4, c takes d4, c takes d4, e takes d4. How now is up a pawn. It's protected pawn by the bishop and by the knight. So Anand just continues development. Bishop f4, a6, bishop c4, knight b to d2, h6. H6 was a very weird move. Okay, but Anand played bishop d5, knight ge7, knight c4, castles by Rao, bishop takes d6, Anand takes his pawn back, rook e8, bishop back, bishop to g3. Rao here should have taken the knight and had the bishop pair advantage, but he didn't do that. He played rook f to d1 because he didn't want this annoying knight to d6 to come with tempo. So he played rook f8, h6, making some breathing room for the king. Knight takes d5, takes d5, knight e7, knight takes d4, knight takes d5, and knight b3. b5, How wants to fianchetto the other bishop via b7, knight d6, d6. Here knight c5, a very good move by Anand. Of course, Anand here has two knights, one on the 5th rank and the other on the 6th rank, which is you don't see very often. Rook a7, b3 by Anand, knight d7, knight ce4. Of course, here Anand is offering a rook on a1, but so that he can take with the queen and control all the dark squares. But How didn't do that, didn't fall for this. He played knight f6, rook c1. He is threatening to take the bishop. He will not gonna be able to take it back with the queen because it's attacked by two pieces. Knight takes e4, and this is a blunder because How now thinks that Anand will take the knight back, and then we were going to trade the queens and go directly into the endgame. But he doesn't do that. He takes the bishop first. How doesn't have any good move. Instead, he gives up the queen for a rook and a knight. Knight takes and rook takes. In g4, moving with tempo. If you notice now, it's move 26, and Anand, each move that he makes the best move by the engine. He moves with tempo. He makes like all the greatest moves. Rook e8. Of course, Anand was also attacking the knight on e4. Bishop f4. Rook ae7. Bishop e3. Anand wants to remaneuver his bishop on this diagonal. Rook e6, rook d1, b4 by Khao wants to make a blockade so that Anand cannot move any of these pawns. Rook d3, a5, queen d1. Here Anand wants to trade another pair of rooks so that he can win easily. He has a queen and a bishop against he will have a queen and a bishop against a knight, bishop and rook. Here knight c3, queen d2, h5, rook d8. Khao plays bishop f6, wants to make the trade on e8. Rook takes e8, and here queen d7, moving with tempo, threatening to take the queen. And here Khao plays rook d8, rook c7, rook d5, g4. Anand wants to make some threats on the king side, some checkmating ideas. H takes g4, h takes g4, and here knight takes e2, and that's a blunder. Of course, Khao here should have played bishop d4 and survive a little bit longer and continue the game. It would be still winning for Anand, but it would still be playable. But he instead made this wrong move. He played knight takes e2, queen c6. It's a double threat. He's threatening to take the rook, and he also threatens to take the bishop. So the only move here is rook d1 check, king g2, and protecting the bishop. And now Anand plays the best move here, bishop h6 check, forcing the trade. And of course, he's making a checkmating batter, ace of 6. And here, if you notice that Anand can bring his queen here with check, if this square was covered, it would be checkmate. So he will play f4 and then checkmate Khao's king. Khao tries to bring the knight into the game, knight c3, and Anand plays the move. Next move for Anand is checkmate. So it's a rook d2 check and king h3, and then Khao thinks for like 3 seconds and then stops the clock and resigns the game because there's nothing more to be done. I mean, if he plays gives another check, king will, and then the next move here is checkmate. Nothing he can do. He will play queen h8 checkmate. The pawn covers the square. So amazing game played by Anand. Really amazing stuff. He proves that he's still at the top. If you like the game, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for watching. And
Threatening queen h8, forcing king h7 eventually. We'll give some checks, but the king can walk to h4, king h3.
Yep.
Taking a moment, checking for knight forks, but he won't let go.
And that's it.
How
It's
resigns.
over. And Vishy collects 1.5 points